Hello, I'm Mike Knight. Welcome to my channel. Great to be here. Today we're going to be talking about resistor color code and how to remember the color codes of resistors. The basic ones that we use for the most part are 4-band colors, and so we're going to be looking at that. And the mnemonic to memorize that would be bad beer rots our young guts, but vodka goes well. No silly, get root beer. That's the mnemonic to help you remember the color code for resistors. Bad beer rots our young guts, but vodka goes well. No silly, get root beer. So let's try that. So here's how I do it. Bad beer rots our young guts, but vodka goes well. No silly, get root beer. Get root beer. What am I doing here? I'm about to write beer down there. All right, so the first one is going to be black. And the second one will be brown. The third one will be red. O is orange. Yellow. Let's see, yellow, and then we've got green. Blue. Violet. That might be hard to see on a resistor. Gray. White. All right, and then this would be no color. Silver. Gold. Red. Brown. All right, and so the best way to remember this, the way I usually do it, is if you have to memorize it for tests, or just memorize it so that you can figure it out. If you don't have a chart handy or don't have access to one, you can figure out what color code a resistor is, and you can pretty well tell what value it is. And so normally our resistors are going to have, and I'm just going to draw one here, so you typically would have like for your first two bands are your first two digits. Your third band is your multiplier. And your fourth band, I should have made that a little longer. I have to draw a little bit bigger. The fourth band is your, okay, so this is digit 1, digit 2. This is multiplier. And this is tolerance, the last one. All right, so how we get our numbers. So black is 0, brown is 1, red is 2, orange is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then no is going to be 20%. Silver is 10%. 5%. 2%. And 1%. And then silver is 0.01 and 0.1 for gold. And so these are multipliers. These are tolerance. And these are your numbers, like this. So let's say, for instance, let's just say we had a 1200 ohm resistor. What would be the colors? So you do the first two digits, it would be brown, brown. Then the second digit would be red because it's a 2. So that's red. And then you got a 1 and a 2, and then you've got 2 zeros. So this is just the way I do it. Some books tell you different ways, but if you take, and red has 2, that means you add 2 zeros. So I'm going to do red. And then if it was plus or minus 20%, then that would be no color on the fourth band. And that's kind of how you do it. So we'll do a couple of practice problems here in a minute. All right, so let's do a couple of practice problems. See how we do here. Let's take an example of, how about a 39, this is kind of a little different, just a 39 ohm resistor. What color would that be? So we go to 3 is orange, so it's going to be orange. The second digit's 9, we go to white. And this is a little different. Remember I said I add 1 0, 2 0, 3 0. So with black I add no zeros. So I'm going to use black there. And then I didn't put it, but let's put plus or minus. Let's put plus or minus, make this a real good one. 1%. How about that? 1%. So that's way down here. So that's going to be brown on that fourth band. Brown. All right, what if it was a, let's do another one. Let's say it was a 390 milli ohm. Now let's change that, not 390. We already did 390. Let's do 780 milli ohm resistor. Now, what colors would that be? 780 milliohms. So we go to 7 is violet. And then 8 is gray. And the best way I would probably do this, we'll do plus or minus 5%. But the best way I would do this is I would change this to a decimal. So that would equal to 0.78 ohms, right? If you moved it 3 places, like we did in the last video, we change it, we move it up, which is we move it to a small or larger prefix, which is a smaller number. So that's 0.78 is smaller than 780. Right? So 0.78. So we've got a violet and a gray. That would give us 78, and we need to back up 2 decimal places. So that's where these come in down here. The silver is going to black us up 2 decimal places because we're going to multiply it times 0.01. So the next one will be silver, and that's silver and gold for the multiplier for that third band. Remember, first band is first digit. Second band is second digit. Third band is a multiplier. Fourth band is a tolerance. So we want 5% tolerance, so that's going to be gold. Oh, silver and gold. All right. All right. So that'll give us a little bit of an example there. Let's do, let's try this one. How about 56,000 ohms? Now, we wouldn't really write that 56,000, would we? We would write it, let's write it correctly. Write it 56K ohms plus or minus 10%. All right, so this is really easy once you get the hang of it. The biggest thing is remember that mnemonic. Black beer rots our young guts, but vodka goes well. No silly, get root beer. And then the first ones are pretty easy. The silver and gold's a little tricky with the 0.01 and the 0.1, but other than that, it's pretty good. So let's do the 56 K ohm. So you got to have a 5, which is green. And a 6, which is blue. And now I would probably change this. So if this 56 K ohm, we're going to make this, we're going to go down to root. So we're going to go smaller prefix. So it's going to be a bigger number. So we're going to have to add, K is 3, right? 1, 2, 3. So that'd be 56,000 ohms. So now we got green and blue, that's our 56. Now we need 3 zeros, so that'd be orange. Orange. Okay. And then what's our 10% tolerance? You just come down here and that's your silver again. And that's pretty much all it is to it. Well, let's see, we could do one more. Red, violet, and brown, and brown. All right, so let's do this one. Red would be a 2. Violet would be 7. Brown is, where's brown? 1 0. The other brown is in the tolerance, and the fourth band would be down here, 1%. Okay, so remember, so these are digits 1 and 2 and multiplier. All right, these are tolerance. And these are multipliers for the decimal, or the really small multiplier. Just to review a little bit, the mnemonic was bad beer rots our young guts, but vodka goes well. No silly, get root beer. Also, what I wanted to mention was we talked about the tolerance of the resistors. And so when we talk about tolerances, let's say we had a 25 K ohm resistor. And so that's what it's rated for. But we have a tolerance. It can be plus or minus, say, 20%. So to do the plus or minus, all you do is you want to minus 20%, so that would be low. And then you want to add 20%. So this is the maximum range that it should fall in. And the way we do that is very simple. Just take, and you can leave it in K is fine. So 25K, we'll just leave it in K, times 20% less than 100% would be 80%. And 80% in decimal is 0.8. So we would just 25 times 0.8, and that would give us 20K. 20 k ohm for the low. So you just take 80 times 825, 80%, which is, you can leave a 0 if you want, and that would give us 20 k ohm. All right, so that's easy. So that's the lowest that it should be. If it's below that, it's out of tolerance, and it's no good. All right, the next one is we want 20% plus. So we take our 25K, and we want 100.20%, 0.2. You don't need the 0, but I just put it on there. So we take 25 times 1.2 equals 30 k ohm. And that's just very simply how you do the minimum and maximum of your resistor for the tolerance. So whatever the tolerances is, you just take that from 100 for the low side and add it to 1 for the high side and multiply. That's the easiest way. That's it for this video. Thank you.